Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I went on a really negative rant for a little bit there. Thank you for letting me vent. Let's talk about happy things like ghosts or dinosaurs. Why aren't there dinosaur ghosts, right? Once my brother and I saw a teddy bear across the street. This isn't even a joke anymore. Really quick. My brother and I saw a teddy bear across the street. We were driving and we saw something out of the corner of our eye, and David went, whoa, and slammed on the brakes, and it was a teddy bear that got up on its 2 legs and walked across the street. I just have never told anybody that before. And I wanted to share it with the world now. I swear to God, it was a teddy bear. We got to school, and we just kind of stared at our hands, and people were like, is something wrong? And we're like, no. But what do you do when you see when you see something magic like that? Do you call someone? Who do you call? Is there someone I can call? Anyway, that's it for that. Something that I love a lot is animals. I love animals so much. Anybody who knows me knows that I love animals so much. And I think if I hadn't decided to become an actress and a comedian, I would have loved to have studied biology and just sat around and studied animals all day and witnessed their behavior and made my own little hypotheses and just been a biologist. But I didn't. I chose to become a comedian instead. It really was a teddy bear, you guys, walking on its 2 feet. That is something that happened. Anyway, so I like to study animals. So sometimes I like to pretend that I am a biologist and I will just start to study animals. So one time I was at my parents' house and I was watching these birds all land on the bird feeder. And I was like, let's have a biology moment. What are they doing? And I noticed that all the birds exhibited the same behavior where they would land at the bird feeder and there'd be all this bird seed in front of them, but they wouldn't eat it. They would just sit there and go. And then another bird would come by and they would go and take off. And then the next bird would land and do the same thing. And none of them ever ate any of the bird seed. And I was like, what? Why are they doing this? Why are they embarrassed of bird seed? So I used my deductions and I was like, okay, what kind of human behavior is similar to this? And the only thing I could think of is when we buy condoms. We go into the store, the condoms are right there in front of us, and instead of just being okay, I'll take this or that, we're like, and then if somebody else comes along, we're like, oh fuck, never mind. So I've deduced, and I think we can go ahead and say this is scientific fact, that bird seed to birds is like condoms to human beings. Same functions, right, guys? I like to imagine a mom bird coming home and being like, I found the bird seed under your bed. Who are you fucking? Only she'd look at you from the side of her eye, because birds' eyeballs are over here. Also, I wonder if flies are really just tiny messengers. They're just trying to tell us something. That's why they keep coming up to our ear over and over again. If we listened closely, we would hear a little message Billy's in the wells. Somebody please help Billy's. Fine, I tried. Why haven't squirrels evolved to learn that people just walk by? You know what I mean? People have been walking by for forever. It's like, catch on, squirrels, we're walking by. Every time I walk by a squirrel, it's like, ah! Oh my God. Oh my God, okay. It's okay, he just walked by. They walked by again. Whew. It's like, squirrels love me. I'm the kind of person, I have I've been lucky enough to have 2 exotic animal encounters, both of which were amazing. I got to meet some sea lions, and I got to meet a penguin, my favorite animal. And both of these encounters were amazing. Don't get me wrong. But if I had been running this thing, I might have run things a little different. For example, so the lady brought in the penguin, and she set it on the ground, and we're all like, oh my God, there's a fucking penguin in the room. I cannot wait to meet this penguin. And she's like, all right, we're going to go ahead and take turns spraying this penguin with a spray bottle. And we're all like, okay. Here goes nothing. And this penguin just sat there like... Your turn. And then when we were finished with that, she was like, okay, now you guys get to pet the penguin. And we're like, yeah. And she like gets down on one knee and she picks up the penguin, puts him on her knee, and we're like, oh, dude, we can't wait. And then she's like, okay, so here are the rules. You take 2 fingers and you stroke his back 3 times. And I was like, oh, no, bitch. I didn't come here for no 2-finger touch. I want to take that penguin and I want to snuggle him big time. I'm going to take that penguin out for a day on the town, you hear me? I'm going to treat him to whatever he wants. I'm going to pick him up and throw him like a football into the water. And then we're going to swim around together, and then we're going to snuggle, and he's going to have a sleepover with me, and he doesn't need a big bed because he's tiny, so I'm going to put him on a pillow. And give him kisses! Mwah! Same thing with the sea lions. It's like, we got to the sea lion, and they're like, all right, we're going to flip this big guy over, and why don't you guys just go ahead, reach down, touch his toenails. And we're like... He's like, I'm gonna open his mouth. Why don't you go ahead and reach in, touch his teeth? And we're like, I don't want to. It's like sea lions are so big and slimy and shiny and slippery. It's like I kind of want to slap them. You know what I mean? Or like pick them up and like shoot them at each other. Or like ride one like an inner tube down a water slide or something. I don't want to feel his teeth. I'm the kind of person who, when I see an animal, like every part of me changes. Like I'll just be walking around like a normal grown up, like, oh, the stock market. And I'll see a dog and I'll be like, oh, look, it's a tiny little doggy. A small little doggy. And I'll usually like describe the dog to its owner. I'm like, he's tiny. Oh, he has 2 eyebrows. He has ears. His head is small. And they're like, okay. I love dogs so much. Sometimes I put animals before people, and I realize that this is not okay. But this happened one time. This old woman was walking her dog across a busy intersection, and she tripped and fell and let go of the dog leash when she fell. And like cars are coming, and this is busy. And I'm like, oh, I gotta do something now. So I ran out. I'm like, stop cars, stop. And then I go for the dog. I literally left the kids I was babysitting on the corner, left this struggling woman, and she was struggling. She was like flat-faced on the ground struggling. And I went and got her dog. And I realized how horrible this was as I was doing it. And I like walked back up to her. She's literally like, oh. And then she gets up on her own. I fucking didn't help her, that's for sure. And I'm like, here's your dog. I'm so sorry. Then I get back, the kids are like, why did you do that? I'm like, let's just go home, kids. Not a big deal. So one of the worst moments I've ever had in my life was a wintry night, and I was driving home from a friend's house, and I was passing some fields, and this beautiful fox just leapt out in front of my car and like looked right at me. It was like, and it was so beautiful. It was like a little ballerina just. Whoop. And I had no time to think. I had no time to swerve. I just fucking decimated this thing. I just absolutely murdered this beautiful creature all over the street. It was horrible. And while this was like a terrifying moment in and of itself, I think the part that startled me the most was the sound that came out of my mouth when I did it. It was like a sound of pure natural fear that I've never made before. But literally, I hit the thing and I went, no! Like, no exaggeration. That's what I did. And I pulled over and immediately started crying. And I was like, what the fuck did I just do? What the fuck was that sound I just made? Who am I? It was horrible. And I think about that fox all the time. I actually wrote a song for the little foxy. And Nick's going to help me perform it. And it's just a little something to commemorate that little guy who was so tiny and beautiful. If only he could be here today to hear the song. Look! It's the fox! Oh, come out here, little fox. It's the spirit of the fox, you guys! Oh, Foxy, we have a little song for you. Do you mind if we sing it? Okay. Let me just, Little tiny ballerina dancing in the street. Little toes across the snow and toujours tes petites sachets and beep bop beep boo fox, tender shepherd, tippy tappy tooraloo. Lots of love from up above and demi-moi, just a touch, not too much. Tiny little foxes doing a tendu relevé, pas de bourre, jump and turn. Up and down the freeway, fifth position plie, arabesque, pas battu, pirouette, attitude. All right, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Thank you to Lauren Lopez, Nick Gage. Thank you to Mark for doing my sound. Thank you to Liz for doing my lights. Brian, TC, and Chris for filming. Thank you so much. Thank you to Night Terror for opening and Adel for hosting. Thank you guys. This was so special. I love you.